Remember also your Creator in the days of your youth, before the evil days come and the years draw near, of which you will say, I have no pleasure in them. Before the sun and the light and the moon and the stars are darkened, and the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house tremble, and the strong men are bent, and the grinders cease because they are few. And those who look through the windows are dimmed, and the doors on the street are shut, when the sound of the grinding is low, and one rises up at the sound of a bird, and all the daughters of song are brought low. They are afraid also of what is high, and terrors are in the way. The almond tree blossoms, the grasshopper drags itself along, and desire fails, because man is going to his eternal home, and the mourners go about the streets before the silver cord is snapped, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is shattered at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern, and the dust returns to the earth as it was, and the spirit returns to God who gave it. Vanity of vanities, says the preacher. All is vanity. What is life all about? It's a vapor, a breath, just a passing moment in the grand scheme of eternity, and we only get one go at making our life about the right thing. The author has told us what it's not about. It's not about money or wisdom or pleasure or power. Life is about pursuing God, remembering Him before the good works of this world, and we ourselves pass from here to the dust and see our spirit return to God. Ecclesiastes continues to tell us that the teacher or preacher taught his people much more. He wrote down great truths, but encourages the reader to fix their mind on the words of the one shepherd and to approach other teachings with caution. But he concludes with this: the end of the matter. All has been heard. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment with every secret thing, whether good or evil. Will justice come? Yes. What do we pursue in life? God. In doing so, what will we find? Well, good works to set our hands to, enjoyment of the fruits of those good works, companionship with the people God has placed in our lives, and an abiding appreciation of God's good works in this world. As we wrap up the book of Ecclesiastes, I want to leave you with this thought. The author is telling us much the same thing that Jesus tells us when He offers the greatest commands. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. All the rest of the law, He tells us, depends on these two. If we keep God's commands out of a love for Him, they are not a burden, but a source of joy. If we provide care for people in our world out of a love for them and a pursuit of their best interest, the product of that pursuit is joy. Will there be hard times in this world that temporarily mask that joy? Absolutely. But just as the arrogant and self-centered pursuits the writer has warned against will pass away at the end of this life, so too will the hardships of this life. The only thing that endures, the only thing that will last eternally as a product of this life are the good works of God and the fruit that comes from them. Remember, God's good works persist forever. That's why we should wholly commit ourselves here, now, while we are relatively young in the grand scheme of things, to His good works. They are abiding, they are lasting, they will bring joy without end. I love you, and I pray today that you would seek God and commit yourself to participation in His good work.